Homebuilder sentiment has dropped again this month for the 12th month in a row and is now as low as it was in 2011. And many feel that this is the next sector of the market that could lead our home prices into a crash. The single-family housing starts have fallen 21% annually as higher mortgage rates dampen demand. And many say the new year could be ugly for the home builders as buyers not only pull out of their contracts, but demand continues to fall. The media has been looking at the new home builders a lot over the last few months because if anybody has excess inventory, it's the new home builders. And many really believe this excess inventory will bring home prices down. One headline said, homebuilders say they are on the edge of a steeper downturn as buyers pull back. So what do new construction numbers look like as far as how many homes are completed and ready to go? How many homes are under construction and how many permits do they have? And are they going to build all the homes for the permits? And let's also talk about the deals that these home builders are giving to buyers and how do you get them? And I also want to tell you about what the CEO of the National Home Builders Association thinks about inventory in the future. So new home sales, which measures signed contracts, actually fell by 11% in September, which is not all that surprising because our overall demand has decreased. Now, the piece of the puzzle that you have to be aware of when looking at these numbers is that in the fourth quarter of any year, whether it be buyer's market or seller's market, the fourth quarter always slows down. There are just less people out looking for homes during the holidays. And this year we have an added negative with the lack of affordability in our homes right now. Now, when it comes to new construction, many buyers love the idea of this because they get to go into the design center. They get to pick all the things that would make the home theirs. But because of the increase in pricing, as well as the increase in the interest rate, it has made some of these homes unaffordable for a lot of people. Now, for those that were under contract before the interest rates went up, that was great. The problem comes with the interest rate currently because, see, they couldn't lock in an interest rate when they were under contract when it was lower. They now have to deal with the interest rate currently, which has led to cancellations. In fact, Pulte reported a 24% increase in their cancellations in the third quarter. Now, many of these buyers are not canceling just because they feel like they might be overpaying for the home any longer. They literally can no longer qualify for the mortgage because of the interest rates. Now, although, as I said, there was an 11% decline in sales, what the experts believed was going to happen was a 13% decline. The reality is that these new construction homes are sitting on the market longer, which is giving buyers some opportunities to buy these homes. As recently as May of this year, there were people on waiting lists for these homes and making highest and best offers on these homes just for the opportunity to secure one. But by the end of September, things had changed pretty drastically. And there's now a 9.2 month supply of new construction on the market nationally. But only 12% of those homes are actually completed and ready to have someone move in, which means the rest of them are either still under construction or haven't even started construction. So the real number of completed homes is only a 1.1 month supply. Now, for those that want to use that 6-month rule to be in a balanced market, because we are not seeing homes go under contract quickly enough, that metric doesn't really hold water. In fact, here in the Phoenix market, some of the cities that turn most quickly into a buyer's market are those cities that have an abundance of new construction. So even though we were seeing resale homes turn rather quickly, the new home construction builders were putting their homes on the market and into MLS, which drastically increased their inventory. So cities like Queen Creek, Buckeye, Peoria, and Surprise, although they didn't have a lot of inventory until these new construction homes were put into MLS, which shifted everything straight into a buyer's market. Why? Because homes were sitting on the market longer and we had more inventory, which lowered that contract ratio pretty quickly. All of this has really changed the way these new home construction communities are marketing, not only to buyers, but to real estate agents. Builders are offering incentives to do rate buydowns. They're offering credits as well as lowering their prices. In fact, 37% of builders reduced their prices in October, and that was up from 26% of the builders in September. And 59% of all builders are offering incentives. Home builders are seeing less and less buyer demand. Less people are coming in to buy these homes because of interest rates, like we said earlier. In fact, Lennar, the second largest builder in the US, had a 12% decline in their overall sales for the third quarter. And D.R. Horton saw a decrease in sales of 15% by the end of September. While cancellations are normal for new homes, the number of cancellations right now is quite high. If you are a buyer in a market with a lot of new construction, especially homes that are completed and just sitting there vacant, this poses a very big opportunity for you. Here in the Phoenix market, we do have a few outlying cities that have a lot of new construction. The cities that I mentioned earlier, Queen Creek, Surprise, Buckeye, and Peoria, just to name a few. There are a few other ones as well. But not all cities in the valley have this. Cities like Scottsdale does not have a lot of land left for new construction. Where the homes are being built does make a difference when it comes to what type of a deal you're going to get from the builder. As well, much of our new construction all across the valley is already sold, just waiting to be completed. It's the homes where the buyers have canceled, where they were already under construction. Those are the homes that the builders are willing to make the biggest deals on. Overall, the number of permits that these new construction builders have pulled this year is lower, and it is much lower than what we saw in the run-up to the 2006 to 2008 housing crash. So buyers, what should you be doing to get the best deals on these homes? Well, the good news is that these builders are advertising all the discounts and credits that they're offering to the buyers. That's how they're getting them in the door. From there, you just have to keep asking, even if you're already under contract. If you see a new incentive or a new credit, ask them for it. Some also may wonder, why would I take a credit to do a rate buy down rather than try to negotiate harder with them to get the purchase price of the home lower? So when you do a rate buy down, it actually lowers your mortgage payment. So in most cases, it actually saves you money in the long run. Whatever you do, make sure you're asking the question of these lenders so that you understand all the mechanics of these loans. And know that these incentives and rate buy downs are usually locked in to having you work with their lender. So if you are not sure how these loans work, make sure you take your real estate agent with you in the first time you walk into that builder's office. That way they can be there and advocate for you. Now, I have had a few buyers over the last few months look at new construction, and the incentives and credits that they're offering has been night and day to what they were offering just months ago. In fact, even one of the luxury new construction builders here in the Scottsdale area, I call them. They have no advertised incentives, no advertised credits, but I talked with them about my buyer and they said, "What are you looking for? Let's make a deal." So unless you ask, you just don't know. Now, these builders are not going to give these homes away, but they are much more willing to work with you as a buyer and the real estate agents. They cannot have a bunch of homes vacant, just sitting there not selling. Many of these builders remember what happened in 2008. So even if they have a bunch of permits pulled, they will likely not start them until they have a buyer for the house. Now, I don't expect new construction to crash our housing market. I do expect it to add some supply to our market and put some pressure on some of those resale homes that are sitting right next to one of the large new construction subdivisions that they're building. Some want to say that the increase in inventory is going to be significant from these new construction builders. But here's what the CEO of the National Home Builders Association said about inventory. Right now, inventory for newly built homes is about 9 months, which isn't bad, but that's an artificial 9 months. That's because there's so little demand. Overall inventory for existing housing is only about 3 months. So as soon as demand starts to pick up again, whenever that is, I'm afraid that we're not going to have enough inventory. We're going to be right back where we were. We've always said that we're at least 1 million housing units short since the Great Recession, and we haven't been able to make up that gap at all. So I'm still saying we're 1 million housing units short. For now, if you are looking for a deal in the Phoenix market, I would look at new construction, or I would look at iBuyers. I talk more about that in this video right here. If I can answer any questions for you, please feel free to reach out. As always, I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.